Keith Tebow, FRCMedia. Thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon. You know, the state primary is about 2 weeks away. It's going to be on Tuesday, September 1st. However, voters in Fall River may already be voting in the primary, and those who want to do so in person can actually do it early, beginning this Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about the primary election, as I'm pleased to be joined by the chair of the Fall River Elections Commission, Kelly Souza-Young. Kelly, welcome. How are you?
Yourself?
I am well, thank you. Let's get right to it. You know, the primary election is 2 weeks away, and last time we spoke, we talked a lot about how people are going to have the ability to get mail ballots for both the primary and the general election. At that time, you had gotten a lot of good response thus far for mail ballots. What's the update in terms of the number of mail ballot requests for the upcoming election?
So right now we have in our processing approximately 6,432. We still have probably about another 100 to actually process them and get out. So we have them done really by Wednesday, Thursday, the latest. Have everybody that has sent an application in, a ballot will be out to them.
So that number is actually a little bit below the 7,000. So you didn't get too many more increase in terms of ballot requests? No. Okay. Well, that was interesting. People wanted to do it right away, and I guess they did. Although people still have the opportunity, correct, to send in a request for a mail ballot. Do they still have that for the primary?
Yes. We have until August 26th by 5 p.m. An application has to be in our office, time-stamped, to get a ballot mailed out to them. And that goes for early voting and absentee.
All right. So that'll cover both in the same way.
Yes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the early voting. You know, the city has taken part in early voting in a number of state elections in the past couple of cycles, or at least the last cycle. We had, you know, early voting during the presidential primary back in March. So lay out for people, when can people start to vote early in person? And this will all be a government center.
Yeah, so starting August 22nd, that'll be Saturday, 8 a.m. to Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday through Thursday, it'll be from 9 to 5. And then the last day will be which will be 9 to 2.
So the early balloting will be pretty much from Saturday right through next Friday. And then again, the times are, you know, you just mentioned, you broke up a little bit, but I will be repeating the times. They'll be this Saturday from and Sunday, the 22nd and 23rd, in the atrium of Government Center. Is that going to be correct?
Yes, use the Sullivan Drive entrance.
Right. So that'll be from 8 to 2, Saturday and Sunday. And then next Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then next Friday, the 28th, is the last day for early voting. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then, you know, the following Tuesday is going to be September 1st. So we'll be starting. Let me ask you, Kelly, in terms of safety, when we were there, when we did the interview for the presidential primary, it was just before March, just before COVID. Everything was laid out in that atrium area. You know, there were some tight quarters of people sitting at tables, you know, checking people in. What is going to be the setup for people when they come to early vote for the primary? I'm sure there needs to be some changes because of social distancing and the like.
Okay, so what we did is we lessened the number of people that are actually going to work early voting. So we had everybody. We have 9 wards in Fall River. So we had everybody at a ward. So the last election we had 9 people handing out ballots. Now we're going to do 5, and that's per style ballot. So each section of the city has their own style. So we did it by that way. This way we would have less people. We also have all our PPE equipment available. It'll still be 6 feet distance from everybody. When you come in, we'll have separate laptops. We usually we have them separated as well. And I'm not going to come in yet, but we will have the plexiglass for the voter, you know, for both the voter and the worker to feel comfortable.
And in terms of where people will be completing their ballots, those little like partitions, if you will be set up far enough apart, at least 6 feet apart
Correct.
for the voters
Correct.
coming in.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, is there any expectation in terms of early voting? I know we've talked about this in the past. With a lot of people mailing in their ballots, is there a chance that we may not get as many in-person votes, not only for the early voting, but also for election day on the 1st?
Oh, I would hope we would get a higher amount. Right now, we did surpass, just in the early voting mail-in ballots, we did surpass 2 years prior, the September primary, and we didn't even have early voting before the 2016 primary, where we still didn't have early voting. We've only had it for the general election, so this is new to us as well. Did 11% in 2018, and it was only 4.6 or 4.7% for 2016, and we've already surpassed that just in the early voting by mail.
Right, and that's before the polls officially open, if you will, even on the 1st. So let's talk about the September 1st primary on the Tuesday. Will the city be utilizing all 29 precincts for that?
Yes, we will have all 29 precincts. Everybody will be at their precincts. We do have some of our poll workers who understandably feel uncomfortable going because of COVID. So we are making arrangements for other poll workers to come in. We have a lot of standby to take their place. We still will have PPE for everybody at the poll places, to keep our workers and the voters safe.
So again, are there going to be, can you think of any specific locations that may need to be altered a little bit because of the safety issues and making sure people spread out? Are there any that were maybe a little more difficult to fix than others?
We do have 2 of our smaller, the sub precincts, and we're going to accommodate where we have 3 sets of booths for every polling place, which lets 12 voters vote at a time. But because of COVID, those polling places might have less, which is really our smaller precincts anyway. I think one of them only has maybe 100 voters at that precinct. So it's kind of, we just have to adjust the amount of like booths we have in there to see the separation workers.
Yeah. As we head into the general election in November, we talked about people getting a mail ballot and those absentees. People will be able to, again, request a mail ballot or an absentee ballot separate if they haven't done so already for the general election. Is that correct? And do you have the date for that? And I'm sure we'll be talking before then.
So we do have those available. I mean, we don't have the ballots available because we have to go through this one first, but we did have some people already give us the postcard for both elections, so they'll be all set. If you already sent it for both elections, we do have some people that just wanted November. And then if the state, I think, if you didn't give send a ballot application back to us and get a ballot for September, they will send you another postcard for the November election, just to see maybe you changed your mind and want for the November election.
And there's also an opportunity to get that application online as well, correct?
Yes, we did put that online as well.
All right. One other thing I failed to mention is that even if you are getting prepared to vote for the state primary election on September 1st, you still have time to register the vote. I believe that deadline is this Saturday, correct?
Yes, it is. It's August 22nd. We will have 2 in our lobby from 2 to 4 and from 6 to 8. But if you do come earlier while we have early voting, as long as your ballot is processed, as long as your voter registration, which we will have people here doing that, as long as it's processed, you will be able to vote that day.
So people who come into, again, this will all be in the atrium area where people will be able to come in so they can literally register the vote for the primary and vote right at the same time, correct?
Correct. As long as it's processed in our system and we have your name in the system, you'll be able to vote.
and that'll be only during the 8 to 2 p.m. voting time. You had mentioned sometimes for registering that or after that time. It'll only be during that time?
Yes, from 8 to 2. Anytime after 2 o'clock, which we will still have our voter registrations from 2 to 4, and then from 6 to 8. You have to wait until the next day to be able to vote.
To vote in person. Great. Very good. All right. Kelly Souza-Young from the Fall River Elections Office, as always, thank you. And we'll talk again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. And we want to thank you for joining us as well here on FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great rest of your day.